Hi, hi everyone. I'm Walking Problem. Welcome to the Common Bad. So this headline by the Washington Post: the administration hoped its new mask guideline would stoke vaccination, but didn't seem to have worked. And I think this is the recurring issue um, that the government of the United States don't seems to be very honest. They like to do some manipulations, use cover-ups and use um, different kind of wordings, and it's just not very forthcoming. And this is actually um, making things worse because they are like making they're pounding on the distrust of the government already that this COVID-19 have brought about over the past year, and 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 because of how all the media have been playing this political game with Trump, and causing huge distrust between the population, especially those that support Trump, and the mass media. And as a result, now you see that anyone that promotes safety due to the COVID-19 is seen as a Democrat, and on the other side, those that champion for freedom and are seen as Republicans. Then, and this also applies to the Democratic side. When the Democrats, when they like calling Fauci out for some of his bullshit, and they get accused to be Republicans. So this is really unhealthy, and I really hope that the American public, especially those that support Trump, have to recognize that this COVID-19 isn't really a hoax, and the implications that COVID-19 can bring, the is real. It can cause death. You can die from COVID-19, or at least you can suffer quite a bit. So let's look at this story by the Washington Post. So apparently that the entire idea that if you are vaccinated, you can don't wear a mask is just a ploy. Apparently, it's a ploy to dupe Trump supporters, who they assume are the people who do not like to wear masks, to take the vaccine so that they can don't wear masks. And I find this very disturbing because when this news came out, it came as a shock to most of the world, because this is not this is not what we recommend in any of our country, and it's really irresponsible, to say the least, because what Fauci originally wanted was that even if you are vaccinated, you should wear a mask. And there is good basis for it, because if you are vaccinated, you are safe, but that does not mean that other people is safe, because you can for a person who is vaccinated still can catch COVID-19, and they can still spread it to another person. And if the other person is not vaccinated, and especially if they have health issues, and if they are old, they have a higher chance of dying. So that is where the responsibility part of it comes, and that's why I find that was a shocker when the Biden administration decided to say that, oh, if you are vaccinated, you do not need to wear a mask. I think it just complicates things, and it makes enforcement extremely difficult. Let me silence my phone. Okay, but this article do show some of this very interesting graph. You can see that vaccination largely was pretty well received at the beginning. When you look at March, April, May, it seems okay, but then as things go forward and it start to slow down a lot, and predictably the Democrats are the ones that are more likely to go for the vaccination, whereas the people who vote for Trump are less likely, and I think this need to be corrected, because even when I'm watching, team pool, I like to watch team cast. Sometimes, like, they people like him, or some of this so-called alt-right personalities, they tends to downplay the virus. And I do agree to a certain extent, because the virus is not that deadly, but it can cause a persisting issue, because sometimes it does, because most of the time it doesn't kill you, but it actually makes you suffer really badly. And this is provided that you have a decent health care that is ready to take care of you. So if you look at what's happening in India, in Myanmar, and even in Indonesia, where their healthcare struggles to keep up with the number of people that's infected, the death rate increased significantly. So this is not a joke. So and looking at this trend, everything is going down, because people is like thinking that the worst has passed in the USA, and the Delta variant wasn't in the US at that moment of time. So people are like getting too lax in America. So I want to show you how deadly this Delta variant is, or how dangerous it is, and why you should get vaccinated if you want to see Trump return to become the president again, or at least see him become maybe the Speaker of the House, and bring down Biden's administration, and bring justice to the people that deserve to go to jail for, or at least stand trial for the kind of things that they do. And I say this sincerely, because I support Trump. If you have saw some of the videos that I've done before, you know that I support Trump. But I feel that my friends over in America, you guys should consider vaccination, because take a look at this report. This is yesterday's report in Singapore. So we have a new outbreak. This is effectively like, the second or the third wave, whatever number of wave it is. But what is of significant is that we have a very high vaccination rate, and this does shows in the results, because if you look at the number of people, the age group, and the people that have vaccinated, fully vaccinated means that they took 2 Pfizer or Moderna vaccines, and passed another 2 weeks. So that's fully vaccinated. And then and you can see that the pink color is completely unvaccinated, and the blue one is actually partially, means that they actually took only 1 vaccine, or they took 2 vaccines, but they haven't passed the 2 weeks period to let the vaccine do its job. So the numbers is as such, because the 19 to 39 years old, which is my age group, only just opened for vaccination around a month plus ago. So most of us are still not vaccinated. So you can see the good number of people are actually vaccinated, but there are still people who refuse to get vaccines for a myriad of reasons. Some of them they just don't believe in the vaccine. Some people just don't care. There are some that are waiting for Sinovac, which I will come to it later. The Chinese vaccine actually isn't that good. So you can see what I want to show is how serious it is. So this is the numbers of people. The orange is in intensive care, and then the blue one is actually requiring oxygen supplementation, which means that these are the serious cases. And if you look at this graph, this green one, the people that are fully vaccinated do not need oxygen supplementation. They have asymptomatic or mild symptoms. That means they are fine. And I'm talking about the Delta variant. And I think there's mainly the Delta variant, and they came and they are a bit like a different species. There's one group that's coming from a different cluster, came from I think Vietnam or something, and then there's another. Then the serious one that's happening now is actually from Indonesia. And if you look at the fully vaccinated, there are no one having serious cases, and for the partially vaccinated, 0.3% actually requires some kind of supplementation, and the completely unvaccinated, and as you guys who don't believe in vaccination, who think that this COVID-19 is a huge government conspiracy, you have some basis, because only 2.2% of these people are having real problems. But this 2.2%, some of them actually goes to the ICU, the intensive care unit. So if you look at this graph here, one person died over the past 30 days, and I'm talking about very good healthcare in Singapore. So I'm not sure in your part of your country or any part of the world that you're actually living in, where you're watching this from, I'm not sure what's the level of healthcare you are, but in Singapore that's as good as you can get anywhere around the world, and we have only one death. And if you look at in the ICU, you can see that there's 1 to 4 people, and almost all of them is completely unvaccinated. There's only one, and then there's one guy here, I think. So this are probably another guy. They are partially vaccinated that goes to the intensive care unit. So that means they only had one shot. And if you look at requires oxygen supplementation, only one person, I think this is the same person who is fully vaccinated, requires that. I'm guessing it's going to be a very old person who having some health problems that's not coping well with the COVID-19, or else if you look at the numbers, it's predominantly the people who are not vaccinated that are having this need for oxygen supplementation, which means that they are having their immune system is having problem dealing with this new variant of COVID-19. So, and this is a huge sign that the people who are vaccinated are safer, even if you have only one shot, because you have to look at the numbers of the people who actually caught the virus. A huge number of these people are actually all vaccinated or have one shot already. So very small numbers of them. You see, if you look at 12, 16, 40, 144, these are is very the number of by percentage who are unvaccinated that catch the virus, it by in terms of the entire number of cases is actually considered low, but the numbers outpace the people who are only partially or fully vaccinated by so much, and this shows that vaccination works. And if you are young, I don't think so. Let's say you are very against vaccination, and if you are young, I personally think it's not that bad. You may die, but the chances is very low. But if you are above 50 years old, you should seriously consider getting your vaccination, because Pfizer and Moderna vaccines are the best in the world, and this numbers shows that the vaccines are still dealing with the Delta variant rather well, because if you are not in USA, then you may have problem getting the Pfizer or Moderna vaccine. And I want to show you this. That's what's happening in Indonesia. So in Indonesia, the doctors and nurses, so you can see the daughter and son-in-law, train as doctors and tell this other doctor, who is fully vaccinated, he got 2 shots of the Sinovac, the Chinese vaccine, and he died just days after testing positive for COVID-19. So as this article continues to say, like other frontline medical workers in the small town, he received double dose of the Sinovac biotech Chinese vaccine. So and this is how serious the Delta variant is, because if you look at although this Global Times is actually a Chinese government propaganda unit, but there are some basis to this kind of thing where this town of Serena in Brazil, the number of death and hospitalization fell by a huge number after 60% of the town is vaccinated. So I think, of course, these numbers might be a little higher there because they want to make a point, but you can see even in May, where the Delta variant isn't really that widespread yet, the real world study seems to claim that the Sinovac vaccine, the Chinese vaccine, is effective. So so Indonesia was tracking their numbers, and so this is not Chinese propaganda, but this is Indonesia. So they found that the vaccine protected 98% from death and 96% from vaccine hospitalization as soon as 7 days after the second dose. This was the happy story when the Delta variant hadn't hit them yet. So after this article, so you can see this article was in early May, they were hit so badly by the Delta variant. So now the headlines change. So hundreds of Indonesian healthcare workers contract COVID-19 despite vaccination. So dozens hospitalized. More than 350 Indonesian doctors and healthcare workers contracted COVID-19 despite vaccinated with Sinovac and doesn't have been hospitalized, and they start to have concerns regarding Sinovac, and I want to China dose. I think so this is I forgot to pull out this page. So in China, they themselves have doubts about Sinovac, and they are actually going to bring in a third booster dose, which is not going to be Sinovac. If I'm not wrong, so in this article they are talking about the third dose of the Sinovac, but my understanding is that they are going to get the one just like the Pfizer one, the mRNA. So yeah, formal consideration. Yeah. So this is the part where they are also considering in China to get similar vaccines as the Pfizer vaccine. So this just shows how deadly the Delta variant is, and it's not a joke, it's real. And as such, it gets really concerning when we have people doing this kind of hashtag, and they calling COVID a hoax, and people are talking against wearing masks. To me, wearing masks have limited protection. There are some protection, but of course it doesn't stop you from getting COVID, which is the point where the Trump supporters or Republicans kept pushing and saying that the mask doesn't work, people still catch virus. And because the virus get into your body through your mouth, nose and eyes, and usually it's through your hands, it's actually not through the air. Aero infections is actually not that common. It's mostly because you touch a certain surface that is contaminated, and then you touch your eyes like this, and it gets into your body. So that's usually how most people get COVID. Or maybe you wipe your sweat, but then your hands is if contaminated with the virus, and then the sweat roll down and still goes into your eyes. So this is where the part where you need to be careful is actually to wash your hands. So if you don't want to wear the mask, no problem, just wash your hands constantly. Whenever you can, wash your hands and try not to rub your eyes. So and coming back to my point, I hope you guys will stay safe. Trump is going to come back definitely, so stay alive. That's why I advocate, I want to show that the vaccines are safe. And I'm not American, I'm not really have a stake in this like Democrats or Republican kind of conflict. I just want to share my point of view that the vaccines, generally speaking, is safe, and it will save you a lot of pain and suffering if you catch the COVID-19, and you may save another person's life, because yeah, why would you save another person's life if you take a vaccine? That's a good question, because if you catch COVID-19, if you are vaccinated, you can still catch the virus, and you can still spread the virus. So you can't really save someone else's life unless you tell the person to vaccinate as well. Yeah, so anyway, it's your choice, it's your freedom. So stay alive. Let's watch Trump make his comeback, and I hope we can see much better change in US politics soon. And remember to hit the like button for me. Subscribe, please subscribe. Hit the like button. This will help. The like, so how the YouTube algorithm works is that if you press like, this video will be more likely to be recommended to another person, and if you press subscribe, I will have more subscribers, which means that I can reach the goal of 1,000 subscribers earlier, and so I can monetize my videos on this channel, so that I can make a living, or at least subsidize some of the money that I need to make more of these deep dive videos into conspiracy theories, or politics, or controversial topics, so I can help to bring some clarity, and hopefully not so confused by all the fake news that's going around, because even on pro-Republican or conservative news sites, sometimes they cannot be trusted as well, because they take a side, and well, on the other side is much worse, of course, like CNN. All this is just fake news, but at least help me to create more videos that can help more people. So by subscribing especially, it will help a lot to let me reach the goal of 1,000 subscribers. And I hope to see you soon. I probably will want to do more videos, so I will see you very soon, I think. So goodbye.